Hey everybody, Greyhawk Grognard here, and today I'm going to do a first look at the Temple of Elemental Evil twin box set from Goodman Games. Today on Greyhawk Grognard. Okay, so right off the bat, this thing is massive. I mean, it must weigh 5-6 pounds easy. This is it's beautiful. It's a slip cover with 2 hardcover books inside. It's got a lot of it's obviously got the the famous artwork from T1 through 4 on the cover. On the back, it's got some of the art from the redone cover of Village of Hamlet. It's just very obviously the production values are just enormously high, and when you take out the books, they are massive as the box was. They are gorgeous. The first book again has the classic temple on the front. It's got the same artwork on the back. The second volume has a redo of the wonderful tramp art from T1 that was from the original version of T1, and on the back it's got the back art from the same version of that module. They're obviously color coded, so you can tell one volume from another at a distance. Now, I have not read through these extensively. I got them last night, and I've just done the most cursory of glances through them, but a couple of things do stand out, both good and bad. So let's just go through it. First of all, in the first volume here, they start off with a bunch of historical historical articles about the history of the module. John Peterson's got a chapter in there. He's the historian of early D&D. It's got things about the artwork and interviews with the people who put together the original stuff. I mean, it is just amazing stuff, and I'm really looking forward to reading that. That's like the first 40 pages of the book is that material. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Chapter 2 is lists all the corrections that they made, because the original modules were famous. Well, T1 through 4 especially was famously rushed into production, and a lot of typographical errors slipped in. A lot of those were corrected in the PDF and print-on-demand version that was relatively recently published by Wizards of the Coast. But this actually goes through all of them. They go through some of their decision-making process, whether or not they should change it to this or that. So it's very interesting stuff to me. Then they do actual scanned-in reprints of the original modules, both T1, which is really cool. It's just a straight scan of the original, and they also include where'd it go? The art from the redone version. They've got a fold-out map that was originally the inside cover of T1. They have a scan of T1 through 4. The temple, obviously, and it's just a straight scan, all the old text, all the old artwork. It's really cool for me to have a copy that isn't falling apart, which is nice, and that takes you quite a ways through the book. Then they end up with the maps from that, because in T1 the maps were in a separate booklet. Then, starting on page 225, so the first 223 pages are just introductory material and a reshoot of the original. On page 225, this version kicks in and starts. And this is a 5th edition skin of the original, with a lot of additional material put in, which I appreciate of all people. They give some more introductory stuff here. They have some nice illustrations. But what really gets me here is that they have the player's background here. They give a redo of that original map, which is really nice, with the giant hexes. And they give you some adventure hooks, and they have this prelude encounter on the road to Hamlet, which is, you know, pretty much the same idea I had in my Journey to Hamlet module that's available as a free download on my blog, link below. But the weird thing about this is that this takes place, as far as I can tell, north of Hamlet. Like if you're coming from Verbebank down to Hamlet, you're going to have this prelude encounter. And again, I haven't read through it completely, so I might have it jumbled, but just from what it looks like in the maps. But in the text, it says that the players are coming up from the Wild Coast, which is from the southeast. So I'm not really sure how the prelude encounter plugs into where the players are supposed to be coming from. But you know, we'll see as I do a more in-depth read through. They give a nice overview of the village. This is pretty much a 5e redo of the village stats, so you know there's not a lot new there. They do give a nice recap of the village militia, which is always helpful. I actually did that myself back in middle school when I had to run the module for my friends. It's got the moat house. It's got you know, just the stuff that you would expect to have. They give a nice wilderness map with some additional encounters out in the area. There's a knoll thing. There's that prelude encounter. So you know, it's all helpful stuff. This is actually where I get my my question about that prelude encounter, because if you can see it, you know, Verbebank is up here, Hamlet is here, and that prelude encounter is here on the road between Hamlet and Verbebank. But the PCs are supposed to be coming in from down here and going up like that. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I'll have to find out. There's more bandits. They've got some wilderness encounters of monsters and so forth. Given the levels that this is supposed to be for, some of the encounters seem a bit overpowered, but it is 5th edition, so the power levels might be a little different than I would be used to. Like a pair of Ankh eggs for a first level party would be a TPK. So, you know, I don't know. They also include a fully fleshed out village of Nulb, which is also really nice because they give the map, and you know, they flesh out all the encounters on the map of Nulb. In the original T1 through 4, the DM was supposed to do that, and here they've done it for you, which is really nice. And then they wrap up this first volume with the ruins of the temple, the surface level of the temple. And, you know, it's all pretty much just a recap in 5th edition form, which is not a bad thing. It's what you would expect. And if you're enjoying this video and you want to see more like it, please subscribe, hit the like button, check out the links below. You know, join the Patreon, buy something on the store, check out the free downloads on the blog. You know, you guys helping with all that stuff really does help keep me producing the free stuff. So anyway, back to the show. Okay, so now on to the second volume, and this is probably the volume that took them the most time to put together, because this is the Dungeons of the Temple of Elemental Evil, and I'm not going to go through that except for one particular thing which I want to note in a minute. But the real benefit of this is that they've added in fully fleshed out versions of the elemental nodes. Beneath the temple, there are these little demi-planes that Zuktmoy has created. There's an elemental node of earth, air, fire, water with a bunch of evil things in there, and that's where the gems are that you're supposed to get to put in the crown to free and hopefully destroy Zuckmoy. So in the original, they were just a map and a couple of encounters and a table of random encounters. And in here, it looks like they have expanded that enormously, which is exactly what the DM, again, was supposed to do back in the day in the original. So that's really, really cool. It's all, of course, in 5th edition format, which, you know, that's what they're selling it as. It's not a bad thing. But I did notice one thing that seems to have slipped through, and that is on the Temple Dungeon level 2. Let's see if you can see this. Right in the center there, there is a staircase here that leads into the octagonal room. This staircase shouldn't be there, and it was an error that was in the original map as well, and it seems to have carried over into this map. And having a staircase, if you look at the topography right around there, it doesn't really make sense to have that staircase there, because if it was there, then that particular entrance would be above everything else, and it would have it doesn't work with that staircase there. It looks like it was a misreading of somebody back when the original was published. And it's also interesting and amusing to note that they carry forward another error from the original, and I didn't see anything about this in that list of errors, but they carry forward the idea that is the Eye of Fire, and that comes from the original illustration from the original module. If you can see, Lareth has that evil elemental eye on his armor, and that was actually a miscommunication between Gygax and Tramp back in the day, because what it's supposed to be is the elemental eye is supposed to be like a triangle with 3 lines that meet in the middle, and Gygax never explained that to Tramp, so Tramp gets this thing that says, "Oh, just make it an evil elemental." You know, it's going to be the elemental eye, and he doesn't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. So he makes it like that, and then it slips through. And later on, in one of it, I think it was a Q&A in Dragon's Foot, or it might have been in one of his interviews in a Worth Journal or something like that. But Gygax explained that was a mistake, that wasn't supposed to look like that. But they've carried it forward into here, which I find kind of cool. But anyway, having flipped through this, there's new illustrations. Obviously, they've got in the back. They've got things for new monsters, or at least they're new to 5th edition. Apparently 5th edition doesn't have Zarans and things like that, and Windwalkers. They do have a lot of cool stuff. They've got fold-out maps again. They've got the redone maps, as we mentioned. But really, the value of this volume is the fleshing out of the elemental nodes. So it's just for that. It's worth getting. On the whole, again, this is just a first impression. I haven't really read through it carefully yet. But on the whole, I mean, it's just beautifully done, as you would expect from Goodman Games. They always take care with this line of products that they've been doing of 5e-ifying their the classic modules. If you're a Greyhawk fan, I recommend it. Do go out and get it. If I can figure out how, I'll put a link in the description below. Anywho. That's pretty much it. I'm very pleased that I got it. I recommend it, just based on an initial read through. And please, I'd love to hear if you've got it. I'd love to hear what you think of it down below. And if you haven't gotten it yet, I hope you will. So anyway, have a great day, and I will talk to you later.